Hey, welcome back. We just had a rather successful Bitcoin conference that took place last week in Nashville, where we had some celebrity appearances, the likes of Michael Saylor, Kathy Woods, Max Kaiser, and a couple of political presidential candidates, RFK Jr., President Trump. They've all made their fantastic speeches with pledges. But what has actually changed since then? And indeed, what could we expect to happen in the coming days and weeks as the US presidential election comes to a close in November? Let's explore this in a little bit more detail next. Okay, well, this article, so what was the actual upshot of the Bitcoin Nashville conference? What's happened, the immediate aftermath effect, we've been seeing that the Bitcoin has actually tumbled below the 67,000 per coin mark as the US government has moved around $2 billion worth of the seized funds from the Silk Road tokens. It says 670 million of those assets were forwarded to an address that could belong to institutional custody or service, according to Arkham Intelligence. And as a subsequence of that, Bitcoin has dropped nearly 5%. If you recall, during the height of the conference last week, it was kind of testing the near enough the all-time high of $70,000. But the immediate aftermath, as I just said, we have seen almost 2 billion worth of seized assets into what looks like to be an unknown institutional custody or service. It goes on to say that the blockchain data Arkham Intel has showed that a wallet tagged as US Government Silk Road Department of Justice transferred almost 30,000 Bitcoins related to the Silk Road website to an unlabeled address, which doesn't actually have any prior history of transactions held within it. And then subsequently, the address forwarded almost 20,000 Bitcoins and another 10,000, which between them both sums up to 29.8k Bitcoins, so two different addresses. So it seems to me there's clearly some shenanigans going on there ever since the conference took place. And it could be a result of, well, the current Biden administration, they are kind of liquidating as much of the Bitcoins that they have just to bring down the price. So clearly there's some shenanigans going on in the current Biden administration. That's how I would interpret this. But like I said, the debate is there now. It's heated up. Okay, well, according to this Arkham Intelligence website, this is the website I tend to use just to check and corroborate some of these announcements on some transfers of cryptos or Bitcoin movements between addresses. Now, if you look up the US government crypto assets, it's quite interesting. It actually has quite a huge raft of different type of cryptos. Obviously, Bitcoin being the predominant, it has, at this moment in time, it's July 30th, almost $13.5 billion worth of Bitcoins in its wallet. You have Ethereum out there, which is almost $170 million. You got US Tether, 120 million, and so on. But clearly you can see that Bitcoin is the largest crypto in its wallet. It used to have 210,000, as been hearing in the at the conference last week at Nashville. It's slightly now hovering just around 203,000, and that is because, as I've mentioned a moment ago in the article, that the US government have been doing some shenanigan movements between various addresses in the last 24 hours. It's really to do with moving it between various addresses as a result of the confiscations from the Silk Road website. So that's what I can see there. And if I go on to the deposits, again, just corroborate that other piece of the 10k from the 29.8k that's been transferred. 10k has been deposited to an unknown label wallet, which is this one here, which is anonymous. You can't see any tag, but all we can see in the last 16 hours, the US Marshals have actually liquidated 10,000 Bitcoins, which is almost 670 million, from its confiscated holding to an unknown address. This could be institutional custodian. It's going to be certainly interesting times. The conference has set that precedent. Now that's clear. It's not going to go away, and it'll be interesting to see how the other governments around the world would react to this, because I'm certain that they're going to be amassing some of their own Bitcoins into their own treasuries, and not just leaving to the realms of the US government alone to take the captain helm, as President Trump said, become the crypto capital of the planet. That could be his vision, but I'm confident that other nation states would like to mitigate that and do something similar to cover some of their own treasuries, because it's a good idea, really, if you think about it. Amassing some bitcoins as strategic reserves in national treasuries to fight against inflation and to fight against the money printing that continually devaluates the national currencies, and more importantly to pay off the sovereign debts, which is what Cynthia Loomis have explained at the conference last week, is a great appeal to its citizens, because this would mean avoiding taxing its citizens for wars or for some other initiatives at any national state level. So it's a brilliant idea, and I'm very confident that there'll be some similar responses going on behind the scenes, not publicly, because these governments, and the US particularly, will like to amass these bitcoins at a discounted level, because anything that is made public is really going to shoot off the price to the moon. So interesting times to follow. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to hit the like button to this video. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel, as I regularly post some interesting videos to you investors out there. So until next time.